What's up? Welcome back to Nostalgia. Dave here with a review of Suga's new solo album, D-Day. Suga, aka Agust D, his third release under this name. Suga, the latest BTS artist to release solo project since the planned hiatus, break for military service that we all know. And Suga, like RM, like J-Hope, has had a bit of a solo career to this point, so we know what we're going to expect in a certain regard. And I think you kind of get what you expect on D-Day from Suga. Suga is among the most talented and capable members of BTS, namely as both a producer, dancer, singer, the usual suspects, but also as a rapper. And I think his ability as a rapper is quite interesting because while I've always gravitated more towards RM's rapping style, his sound, his flow, Suga is still a very impressive rapper, especially when it comes to rapping in K-pop. He has a lot of different flows in his bag. He can really diversify that sound. And I think as an artist, he's much very interested in production, so you get all kinds of flourishes and uses of auto tune and genre switch ups throughout his solo work. And I think that continues on D Day. I would say that D Day is a pretty good listen. I wouldn't raise it to the bar of, say, like RM's Indigo or J Hope's Jack in the Box, because for me, for J Hope, in his instance, his case, that was like a really like big explosion of creativity that I hadn't seen coming from him. And RM, I think, was doing a lot of really diversifying what he had done to that point as an artist. Even a Jimin, experimenting a bit on his solo album that we just got, rapping for the first time. Suga, I don't know if I really heard anything on D Day that I hadn't heard him do before. Not that that's a bad thing at all, but I think it's just kind of a mix of expectations. He's just a bit more experienced than the other guys. And in a sense, I think that makes sense. However, for a 32-minute, 10-track album, I think, there is a lot here. Just going right through the track list now, the title track D Day, it's very aggressive sound from Suga, very heavy use of autotune. Switching that up right into the next song, Hagium, which is a new flow, new rap flow, very hard. I like that one a lot. Track three, a J Hope on the feature, pretty solid. I think that one's, kind of a bit of a, I don't know, like J Hope doesn't make as big an impression as I'd like on that, but still pretty solid effort from Suga. The fourth track, though, I think is a huge switch up. That's a Amygdala, Amygdala, hard one to say. That's a cool vibe switch up. It's really high tempo, but a lot of drums and the synths really coming in for the first time. I thought that one was really cool. Especially like the way he like kind of like drops in with the rap. You know, um, Again, debuting you these flows, switching up his flows halfway through the verse. Like it is a pretty like multi-layered track. I think that one's really cool. Definitely one of the highlights on D Day. The next song after that, SDL, kind of a 2000s vibe for me. The way the drum hits there, very smooth singing from Suga. I like that one a lot. Then we have one of the lead singles, People Part Two, featuring IU of all people, the K-pop superstar. I think it's really cool to get BTS collaborating with people outside of the big hit Hybe, universe, and much like how RM had, some Korean rock stars popping up on songs like Wildflower, getting IU, one of the OGs, one of the biggest artists in the history of Korean music, period. That's a huge pull. And honestly, it's just a really solid duet from the two of them. So I thought that one was pretty cool. I think my favorite song overall will be the next one, though, Polar Night. Just, I think that's my favorite rap flow from Suga on the whole release. The drums sound really cool, the horns popping up in a cool way there. The next song, Interlude Dawn, you have for the first time really these sweeping guitars, again, really switching up that sound, what you're getting here. From there, you have Snooze with featuring the late composer Ruki Sakamoto and then the Korean rocker Woo-sung. In the last song, Life Goes On, kind of a continuation play on some past BTS work there. Life Goes On, Sugar really for the first time on the release in the last song, giving it a much higher pitch, a much higher register, kind of showing you the uh, components of him as a singer. You know, uh, Overall, though, I think even though I wasn't like blown away or had anything that didn't really meet or change my expectations of Suga, I just think like him as an artist, especially when he's like in control like this, like he's a very creative guy. He just gives you as a performer so many flow switch ups as a rapper and as a producer, like his ear for production. There's just always layered beats. Like it's always interesting. And even if he's not reinventing the wheel that he was giving you, I just think it's still like pretty compelling and pretty enjoyable. And this is him completing that trilogy. Really honing in on a both a feeling of freedom, but also kind of a path forward, a path for growth. Pretty interesting release. At this point, we've been getting the BTS solo albums fast and furious, right? We got Suga and Jimin very, very, very close together. Really, now we only have two left. We have V and Jungkook left to go. So in a sense, I think it's really fun that we're getting all these solo albums in rapid succession. Speak that just K-pop in general, but also this from BTS is pretty interesting. And hopefully they all get to that military service soon. We know two of them are starting it now, so the sooner they get to that, the sooner they can eventually find time to come back together in a few years. So I definitely like the group best when they're together. I think most people do, but like I said, Suga has enough compelling aspects to his interests in crafting music that there's always something to enjoy about his music. But yeah, for more K-pop reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.